Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Pod Strickland. I'm your host, Shwinny Poo. In this episode 425, I'm joined today, not by my co-host Stacy, nor my co-host Prez, but I'm joined by somebody I'm sure listeners of this pod are very familiar with. His name is Sam Gedeon. You know him on Twitter /X at FBL_Sam. He is the guru, the Strickland's guru of gambling. Sam, how are your summer parlays going?
Terribly. WNBA and baseball have been kicking my ass, so just patiently waiting for some NFL football and NBA basketball back.
You don't do college football?
That's like way too. I mean, I'll try some. I'll try my hand at some, but that's like so much variables there that I don't think I'm mentally prepared for.
It's all right. At least you have Daniel Jones to look forward to.
Right.
All right. I have. We're going to talk a lot about the NBA. We're going to talk a lot about some bets that may have caught Sam's eye. But before we do that, I do have to make a few announcements. First, being that Strickland has Instagram. Check that out. That is at Strickland on Instagram. We are posting all kinds of new content on there. Strickland also has a YouTube channel where you may be watching this podcast. If you are not done so already, please like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. That'd be a huge help to us. The Strickland has merchandise, which you can find on our website at www.thestrick.land. There's a link that'll take you to the merchandise store. And you can find all kinds of cool stuff on there, like t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, coffee mugs, water bottles, you name it, we've got it. Strickland also has a Patreon, which you can subscribe to. There are a number of different tiers. There's a $6 tier that gets you access to Pod Strickland, the podcast that I host every Friday with Prez. You also get access to Takes from Obvious Bozos, our newest podcast that is hosted by Andrew Steele, a.k.a. Doug, along with Zach Blatter. And you get access to the Strickland Discord with the conversation never stops. There are further tiers. There's a $9 tier that gets you access to Strickland Roll, my solo pod, where I rant and rave about the Knicks and more. You also get access to wonderful premium articles by Matthew Romero, one of the best in the business. And you get access to Strictly NFL, which, you guessed it, is our newest podcast that is hosted by Constantine Metricos. There are further tiers. It's $15 tier, $30 tier, $50 tier, and $100 tier. That's come with a variety of additional benefits. It goes on a pod recordings, merchandise discounts, and even potentially co-hosting a podcast alongside yours truly one day, whether you choose to subscribe or not. None of this would be possible without you. And none of this would be possible without our good pals Bet Online. And I'm going to stall here for a second because I have to get their new ad copy up, which has been sent to us, but I was not prepared and I did not have it open. So we are about to get it right now. Everybody stay in your seats. I know everybody's very excited. Okay, your betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet Online, the game starts here. I got to say, the idea of unwinding by playing slots, online slots, is fucking insane. But
yeah, I can't even unwind that way.
I don't think that's how you unwind. Like, you don't unwind by like continuing to gamble. It seems fucking insane.
Yeah.
All right, but we do the gambling here, and we do talk about it. So I tasked Sam because I'm too lazy to come up with content at this point in the offseason. So I put it on Sam to create the content for this pod, which is, let's get into all of his degenerate habits and talk about what bets you like for this upcoming season, futures.
So I mean, I guess we can start with our good old Knicks. Some things that have caught my eye, at least. The prices are not they're not up my usual alley. As everyone knows, I like to play huge lotto bets, like plus 10,000 odds and up type of stuff. So the Knicks are just not in that realm anymore just because they're that good. Yeah. But I mean, to be the East number 1 seed plus 450, I mean, that's not too shabby. I know Boston. Everyone's making such a big deal. They got Lonnie Walker or whatever. That's the new coming of Christ for the NBA.
How does Brad
Apparently.
Stevens keep doing it?
Yeah. So I mean, I think that they'll have some championship hangover. I also think that. Give me 1 second here. There we go. I think they'll have some championship hangover. They'll have Porzingis missing for the better half of a season. Jason Tatum can't make layups in China, so I mean, that's pretty good odds for the Knicks to get the first seed. So that's one of the bets that I'm at least looking at so far. Anything else? I mean, for futures MVP, good value here. Anthony Edwards, the league seems to be like really propping him up on FanDuel. He's listed at plus 1,300. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good value. Embiid's gonna have to play himself into shape again.
So the thing with MVP is it's just a narrative award. So you got to have like the right narrative. I don't know what the Wolves' narrative is, because the narrative would, like, they were already really good last year. So it's not like he can. It's not like they're gonna be, if they're really
surpass
good,
that.
They're gonna be really good again. So they're not gonna get like you're not gonna get the like, holy shit, Ant took this leap and that's why the Wolves are good. So so if I was looking at this, I mean, let me pull up these odds. I mean, I'm sure he's like a heavy favorite, but this just feels like it's gonna be SGA's year, because
that was my second choice.
Yeah, because what were his odds?
Plus 550. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
OKC's gonna be way better, or they should be at least way better than they were this year. They improved with Caruso and Hartenstein. And SGA has something to prove after being the runner-up, and the league has this thing where like the guy that's the runner-up the year before usually ends up getting it the year after in these last couple years. So
I like, by the way, on FanDuel, I like that they have a section that's just Wemby specials.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I've had my eye on some of those.
Wait, so like, if I'm looking at MVP, where is MVP? What does it mean under?
Season awards.
Oh, okay. I'll find it later. Whatever. The point is, I think SGA has. So I know that I said like, well, fucking Minnesota is really good. So how are they really? I think OKC obviously made a huge leap last year. I'm pretty sure they're going to make another leap this year, as insane as that seems, because they won 57 games last year. Like, they got rid of the worst player in their rotation. They added 2 really good players. And while obviously that shouldn't be like accredited to SGA, that's how this award works. He's going to get the benefit of the doubt there. I think there's something about SGA and Anthony Edwards that I think favor them in this awards.
The aura factor.
Yeah, they both seem to get a big aura bump. To all those who care for that type of thing. But yeah, I think that strangely does matter for both. But yeah, SGA will get that bump. The fact that, like, I think recognition always kind of lags a year. So SGA will get, well, I mean, and he already got like a lot of recognition last year. So I'm not going to act like, he was, hidden and nobody was giving him credit. He was first team All NBA. So he obviously got plenty of credit. But I think that he probably deserved a way more serious consideration for MVP than he got last season. And because of that, I see that kind of happening now. Jokic has won 3 of the last 4. I don't think he's going to get it. I don't think he's going to get one this year. Also, I think Denver's going to have a worse season, so that will help. I don't think the Luka thing is like going to happen, because one, he's just going to show up fat. We already have footage of that, so we already know the first month and a half of the season he's just going to use that to get himself back into shape. Also feel like people don't love him, which again, that matters. Like, so I don't like that part of it for him. It also feels a little like they had as good a season as anybody could have honestly drawn up for them at the start of last year. I think if you had told somebody the Mavericks are going to make the fucking NBA Finals, you'd have been like, "What? No, they're not." But they did. So they already had kind of like a really good season, and if they don't kind of just instantly take off right at the start of the season, I can see people immediately being like that, kind of like torpedoing his MVP case. And then like I don't think the Brunson thing is going to happen because I just feel like the circumstances that allowed him to kind of get into that conversation last year,
they won't be replicated.
Yeah, like I mean, I hope not. I hope that our entire fucking team doesn't die for like 4 months, and yeah, that would be great. I would be a fan of that never happening again. So I don't like that. Tatum, give me a break. Like to me, this is like I will really be shocked if SGA doesn't win this. Like I genuinely will be shocked because I mean like the Anthony Edwards one, I get. I don't love that. The only other guy who I think
like Anthony strictly for value, plus 1,300 for a guy like Anthony Edwards is like, if you can cash that, that's some good money right there, I think.
Well, if he takes a leap, which is not unreasonable, then yeah, for sure. You're right. The odds should shorten on this as the year goes on. So you could probably swap that out for value. The one, what is like, so the one guy I think that genuinely has a chance and could have a good narrative, given the kind of relative disaster season they had last year, would be Giannis.
Plus 750.
Yeah, so I don't like the Bucks this year. I like their team. I just feel like it's like the same team, but worse somehow.
Because they're older.
Because they're older. So they have Doc Rivers as their coach, which good luck to them. But like because I think people are so down on them, and also like Giannis hasn't played really in the playoffs the last couple of years, right? Like he's been injured in both those series, didn't play at all this past season in the playoffs. But like because of all of this, it just feels like there's such a negative feeling around this team. And obviously Dame had a horrible season last year, that if they get off to a good start, which is, it's they have Giannis, so you're always gonna have a chance to rack off or run off a bunch of wins. They even started last year, like 31-12 or something, whatever.
Yeah, they started off pretty good, and they still fired the dude.
Yeah. So once, if they get off to a good start, I think you could definitely see a lot of like, we countered out Giannis way too fast. And honestly, I don't think people realize how good his season was last year. It was fucking awesome, and they were terrible. Which, I mean, that would be the argument against him winning, where you're like, no, he already did that. He was awesome last year, and they still weren't that good. And Dame is 34, generally speaking. Guards at his age, if you have a really bad season relative to your standards, it may not be because you just had a bad season. You might just be a worse player. Yeah. So those, I would probably, if I were ranking them, I think, and this is not in terms of value, but just likelihood of winning the award, I would probably have SGA 1. Yes. I think I would still gonna have Giannis over Anthony Edwards, just because, like, if you look at all these guys that get into the MVP mix now, Jokic, right, 3 of the last 4 years, Embiid the year before last season, Giannis, right, like they fill the box score, absolutely fill the box score, and are like, Embiid was the leading scorer in the league, right? The year he won, he was also one of the best defensive players in the league, like. You have to be so good and fill the box score, and I don't know. I don't know.
I could see the leap coming from Ant just because it looks like he'll have a lot more. I think he'll have a lot more playmaking duties. The Timberwolves, I mean, the moves that they made kind of signaled that they're like heading in a different direction, especially with the lead guard spot. Mike Conley looks like they're prepping for Mike Conley's inevitable decline, I guess, and that's why they picked up Dillingham in the draft. So I could see Anthony Edwards taking a little bit more of that playmaking leap. He's already taken that defensive leap. So I could see something like that happen in terms of him filling up the box score that way. And even in the playoffs, you kind of got a glimpse of it in that Sun series. He averaged like 36 and 8. I mean, that was pretty good pretty good lines from him. Here's another candidate that could have the narrative thing on his side. Coming back from a year where he only played 9 games following the suspensions with the gun stuff and all that. One Ja Morant.
That's a good one.
Priced at plus 3,400.
I mean, I love that actually.
The Grizzlies will be a good team.
I'm just gonna take that. Like I'm taking that.
That's
right
like a really good price for someone that will lead the Grizzlies to a possible top 4 seed in the West, most likely next year.
I think there's a chance they finish with like the second best odds.
And if he's back and he's playing at the way he was playing before all that stuff happened, plus 3,400, that's a really good bet right there on him.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm surprised he's priced that low. I mean, with all the narratives that are always talked about with Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, it's crazy.
Yeah, I would say that they had obviously a horrible season last year. They're going to be better just because that's again how this shit works. The only concern about them is they really have done very well with Ja, obviously, but a lot of that was predicated on, okay, we're going to beat the shit out of you on the offensive glass. Zach Edey's a monster. I think he's going to be pretty plug and play. I don't really know what the plan is, though. He's a rookie, so it's not unreasonable that he could struggle a little bit at times anyway.
Unless they're waiting on like Brandon Clark bounce back.
Is he going to be healthy to start the year?
Yeah, he started playing at the end of last year.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad, I guess. I think this is probably, I like this more than Ant. If you're going to like kind of bet on somebody with longer odds, I feel like Ja's. And Ja, similar to SGA and Ant.
The aura factor.
He gets a little aura bump. And the media is like, it's a great narrative, right? Because it's like, oh, this guy, and they'll like dress up the story too, like, he almost played himself out of the league or whatever, and then it's like, but now he's focused and he's dedicated, and there's no distractions anymore with this guy. Like, look at the way he's leading their team, and in my head, I'll just be like, they won like 51 fucking games, like the year before last. I don't think this is like a new development, but yeah, I think he's gonna get a lot of that, and he also did get hurt last year, right? So like it's like, oh man, like he's had to battle through all this adversity on the court and off the court. Yeah, I don't know. That might be the one, man. That might really be it. But like, yeah, he's got everything. He's got a great narrative, a team that's 100%. I think people are sleeping on them. They were.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I had their over. I took that as soon as it opened. So I think relative to kind of like what a lot of people see, I just feel like people are forgetting about them, and because of that, if they get off to a hot start, which they totally can do, it'll be like, holy shit, Ja Morant, he's back. Look at this fucking team.
Yeah,
we thought they had arrived 2 years ago, but now they're really here. Like, plus you don't have Dylan Brooks being a jackass, so like
that distraction's gone.
Yeah, that will help. Yeah, that's probably the best one. I think that's it. That's the one. I'm in.
All right. So we got one bet down. I'm actually going to put that one in too. I usually save my like player awards odds for like the first couple weeks of preseason, but I think I'm going to lock in some of these now just because of the value. Another future award. This is the only other award I kind of look at besides Sixth Man of the Year. Is most improved player. Somehow Wemby is the favorite at plus 850 right now. I don't understand
this award has become so stupid.
It really has.
Didn't they give it to Ja? Ja got this too, right?
Yes. And he gave his trophy to Desmond Bane because he felt like Desmond Bane deserved it more than him.
I would actually be so pissed if I was Desmond Bane. I'd be like, I don't fucking want this award from you. Like, I'm not your son. Like, get the hell away from me.
But I mean, I think there's really good value on guys from the Chicago Bulls in this market. They're going to be a team that sucks, and they're going to be playing a lot of their younger players. Kobe White was in the mix for this award last year, and he's opening up at plus 3,000 right now. And I assume he's going to get a lot more shots next year. He's going to definitely look more improved than he did last year, and he was already in the mix for it last year. Josh Giddey's at plus 1,400 if you want to take that.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can bet on Josh Giddey.
And then Yeah, I mean, I think those two are the ones from the Bulls. If you really want to get like really disgusting with this market and take one Patrick Williams who has something to prove after he got paid that contract, the obscene amount of money, he's at plus 7,500 for most improved player. But I think it'll end up being someone along the lines of a Jalen Johnson, who's at plus 1,500. I could definitely see him getting an increased role in the Hawks. They made all those moves in the offseason.
DraftKings actually has Wemby at plus 1,000. So if you did want to take that, it's better value there.
Definitely.
I think if they give it to Wemby, it's first of all, it's just stupid. Like he's like a generational prospect. He already took a leap at the end of last season. Like, what, you can't give it to second-year players. That's just so dumb.
Second-year players that are already good.
There should be a rule that you can't win most improved until you're off your rookie contract. That's what it should be. But yeah, so I think this is kind of weird. What's Jalen Johnson's odds on
plus 1,500?
Yeah, the DraftKings. I mean,
got better odds.
Yeah, they have it at plus 2,200.
Oh yeah, then take that there. Yeah, Jalen Johnson at plus 2,200. I like that just for the simple fact, if he's healthy, he's probably going to be the Hawks' second option this upcoming year, as he was in a lot of their games this past year. They got rid of DeJounte Murray. That's going to be one less person with the ball in their hands. And they got a lot more like role player guys around him and Trey on the Hawks. So, I mean, I could definitely see him taking that leap as like the second guy and bumping up his averages. And he already looked really good last year too. So,
yep, I can definitely see that. I would probably, I think Podziemski might be a low-key, sneaky good one for most improved.
I can see it.
I think Scotty Barnes, unfortunately, has a good chance. But that would require the Raptors to be better. Because I think the numbers, he'll put up numbers that are impressive. So that's whatever. But it depends on if you think they have the ability to maybe potentially sneak in as like maybe at least push for like the 6th seed. I don't personally see it. I think they're very firmly in the play-in territory, but I don't know. Maybe there's something there. I'll give you one. I don't even know what his odds are. I can't really find him, but I think you could get like some Zach LaVine action here.
Wow. Because
he did not play last season. Everybody is like, this is the lowest his kind of stock has been in forever. I don't, while I completely hate the trade they made for Giddey, not having DeRozan doesn't actually bother me that much because I don't really think him and LaVine were very good together, and I think they were actually problematic together. So I'm not sure that they will be hurt too much. I mean, look, I'm not saying he's going to win it. The odds are firmly against him, but like they've been in the play-in mix the last few years. I think they don't want to tank, right? We know that about the Bulls. They'll never tank because Reinsdorf needs to make sure that they're as fake competitive as they can be so that he maximizes his gate at the United Center or where the fuck they play now. So, like, if they're just hovering around 500 or whatever, I could see that. And if LaVine he's healthy and he's putting up good numbers, like I could see him getting a little bit of buzz.
He's not listed now, but when the season starts, maybe he might get listed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can contact them too and be like, "Hey, give me some fucking odds on this guy."
Sure.
That one's it's a lot of times too. It's like a lot of times it's young guys who maybe haven't popped as soon as you thought they would, and then they all of a sudden do. Usually, you have some buzz coming into the year. If anybody still believes in Scoot Henderson, he might be a good shot for this one. I don't. He looked fucking awful last year.
And he decided to not play summer league because he thought that was
crazy.
Too good.
He was just like hanging out. I'm like, dude, this is embarrassing, dude. Like, give me a break. Yeah, He could be one. I mean, you want to look at like guys who are going to have a lot of touches and maybe don't necessarily their teams aren't only focused on winning, so they'll have a longer leash. So maybe you want to look at somebody on say like Houston, maybe Şengün is decent, or the long shot. I would kind of maybe like I kind of like it, but I don't know how much is the fucking guard from Utah, Keontae George. If you can get odds on him.
Oh yeah, he is at 3,500 on FanDuel, and on DraftKings he is at 3,000.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to get it on FanDuel.
Yeah. I kind of dig that one. Like because he's probably starting. I'm assuming he's gonna start this year. He's gonna get a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. They
gave him a bunch of run in summer league too this year,
and he looked decent. He was putting up. He had some interesting or some good kind of box score lines towards the end of last season when
that game against the Warriors, he went like crazy.
Yeah,
him and Klay Thompson were just like shooting the shit out of the ball.
Klay Thompson, good player, good dude, good dude.
But yeah, I think that's a good one as well. I just put in the bets for Jalen Johnson, MIP on DraftKings because I like the odds there much better. Six man of the year. Oh man,
the award doesn't count anymore after they ruined it in 2023.
Yeah, they kind of ruined it for me betting wise too. But my two favorites would obviously be the two Knicks, Josh Hart and DiVincenzo. Josh Hart's at plus 1,100 and Dante is at plus 1,200.
The way sixth man of the year usually works is it's basically like whoever is the leading scorer off the bench.
Yes.
That's usually the award. Josh Hart won't score enough. That's why I don't like his odds. He's not going to score enough. I don't
Dante.
Even know. The thing is, I can't do this because like I have no I can't
you know how Tibbs is.
Yeah, I don't know what Tibbs is going to do here. Like if Tibbs promises to play like Randall at the 5 so that DiVincenzo 100% gets like 26 minutes a game or something, then I feel a lot better about it. If Tibbs is going to like do weird Tibbs stuff, then I don't love this. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much like my thing.
Caruso kind of has a narrative.
He's not going to score though.
He has
a
narrative.
You got to find the guy like who could honestly. He's not going to do it because he's just washed at this point. But like the guy who would be awesome has like the best kind of narrative would be it'd be Westbrook. But like because he's not going to start. He's going to come off the bench. But I'm hoping for like Jokic's sake that Mike Malone will be like, yeah, we're going to play you like 7 minutes a game. So that's all we're doing here.
I think it'll start off like how most of the other Westbrook experiences started, where they'll give him like a bunch of run in the beginning just to see how it goes, and then it will start to peter off towards the end. He's at plus 3,200 on what you call it on FanDuel.
Yeah, so Malik Monk has a great narrative. I know he's the heavy favorite here, but like
he should have got it last year.
He got fucked. I don't really understand what happened there. Like I think
he got injured at like the very end of the season, and they still like doesn't count anymore.
Well, then it's like, well, Naz Reid, who is awesome, but he like had a couple really monster games when he started, which we know is highly illegal. But like he had a couple monster games when Karl-Anthony Towns was out towards the end of the year, and that was like when Monk was out. And all of a sudden, people were just like, "Oh no, you got to give it to Naz Reid." I was like, "What just happened?" Like, Malik Monk went off the entire fucking year off the bench. We're just fucking him over now. Yeah, I like. I don't know. I still kind of like Monk. Buddy Hield is one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it depends on. Well, he's not going to start because they said Pods is going to start. It's going to be Pods, Wiggins, Draymond, Curry.
Yeah.
And...
Well, dude, Pods, they're just like, hey, you got to start shooting 8 to 10.
That was insane.
I was like, yeah, just be Dante. Yeah, just be Dante DiVincenzo, dude.
That's insane. But yeah, I mean, plus 1,700 for Buddy Hield. That's pretty good.
Is that on? That's on
FanDuel.
Yeah, because DraftKings has that at plus 1,400. So you want to take that. If you're going to take that, you want to take that on FanDuel. Do we Malcolm Brogdon 2 times?
What team is he even on anymore?
He's on the fucking Wizards.
Bruh. I don't look at anything Wizards related, man. That team is just that team is something.
They're definitely one of the teams. So the year Quick should have won it, but he wasn't like I don't remember him being. He wasn't a heavy favorite to start the year. If I don't think he was.
Nope.
And
because I remember getting him at pretty good odds.
So I'm wondering if there's somebody like deeper on rosters around the league that is being overlooked for this. Like, Tyus Jones will be starting, so he's off the board there.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think who scores. Like Norman Powell will always be in the mix because he scores, but I think he's just like he doesn't have any juice. Nobody cares about him.
Yeah, nobody cares about the Clippers either.
Right, exactly. Nobody cares about the Clippers. Maybe Lonnie Walker, right?
I can see someone like maybe Mathurin.
So that's an interesting one because
the Pacers ones are tricky.
Well, like so everybody on their team fucking scores, and then they play this the most idiotic, annoying style of basketball where they just sprint up and down the floor constantly. They can't defend, so that kind of helps this scoring situation out. Mm-hmm. The problem with Mathurin is this. They clearly did not miss him once he got hurt last year, which did not surprise me. And then Halliburton's obviously going to he's the starting point guard, so he's going to play a shit ton. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. Nembhard kind of just made himself a more significant part of the rotation, and they paid him. Which is important. Siakam, obviously, already there, getting paid. Like, I don't know where Mathurin... Like, I low-key think Mathurin is not on this
expendable.
Team. Yeah, I just don't think he's on the team by the end of next season. Or this season, sorry. So he's just so tricky to me because of that. Like, I don't know, if he gets traded, who the fuck knows where he'll be. And I just don't think he's going to be able to garner, like, they're not going to need to kind of devote so much time and patience to him because they went to the conference finals last year. At that point, you can't be like, well, we're in this just for the long haul and we're just trying to develop these kids. And it's like, no, like that time is over. If that's all you cared about, you wouldn't have done the Siakam trade and then paid him a fucking gazillion dollars and then paid Obi and all this shit. So Mathurin is just tough for me for that reason. What do we think of Jaime Jaquez, our good friend?
I mean, I could see it. He's not going to start, right? I mean, who's their starting unit?
So it'll be Hero, Rozier, Butler, Bam, and then
Ware.
I think it's going to be Ware. It feels like Bam doesn't want to play center, so they're going to do like that weird. Yeah. They're going to do the stupid AD thing where they're like, okay, cool, we'll let you play the 4, and then probably like a month into the season they'll be like, all right, so you're playing center again. That's what we're going to do. Sorry, buddy.
But yeah, Jaime Jaquez coming off the select team. He was playing with Team USA over the summer a little bit. Played in summer league, looked way too good for summer league. I could see it. 6th man of the year for sure.
So, sorry. FanDuel has him at plus 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if DraftKings has him listed.
Let me see. Yeah, he's at plus 3,000 on DraftKings. So way
that's
better.
Where you want to pick him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. I could see it. Especially Miami gets a bump, right? Media loves them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And their offense is going to be bad, but I think it'll be better when he's on the floor. So he should benefit from that. Only thing is he's not like a particularly great shooter or like he's not like a dynamic scorer or something like that. So you kind of have to hope that he doesn't start but still gets starter minutes. If that happens, then I think he's got a chance.
And that actually did happen in a bunch of games last year. So
yeah, no, I mean he was like a high minutes player for them. So That one I kind of like, but yeah, honestly with this one, I think it's gonna end up being Monk
Or Reed again.
Yeah, I just they're both really good. They're both gonna come off the bench. I don't know. Like this is an award that. How many times did Lou Williams win this shit? Like fucking 4 times or something.
4 times in like 5 years, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Nobody gets really that sick of like, oh, the same guys for 6 man of the year. It's just
Yeah.
that so many times if you win 6 man of the year, it's because you actually shouldn't be coming off the bench. So
You should be starting.
yeah, so that's why like you don't see a lot of repeat winners and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure both these guys will be coming off the bench still. I mean, Nasri definitely will, and I'm pretty sure Monk still will be, even though he got paid. So whatever.
Yeah. He's still like Herder.
Okay. All right. Let's. What are we doing next here?
I do want to look at the Wemby specials. I think they're like priced too insane because it's like they expect this guy to do everything basically. Like Wemby to record a quadruple double is only plus 1,500. I feel like that should be like priced way higher. Like even if it's Wemby,
nobody's done it since what, like Hakeem or something.
I think since David Robinson, right?
Oh, the Admiral, fucking loser.
I mean, if you want to take it just because it's like the narrative of the last time a guy did it was the Spurs, so of course it's going to be a Spur to do it again. It's going to be Wemby.
These are not.
But the prices are just like they're not like.
Why is that plus 1,500? That should be like fucking plus 6,000.
$1 million.
Yeah, I don't get that one. Wemby to score 50 plus points in any 2024
is plus 110. That's fucking insane.
Did he even score 40? Did he score 40 against us?
Yes,
he did, right? But that was like an overtime game too.
Yes.
Yeah, I wish I could.
I don't think these are worth looking at really, unless like you just have money that you just want to like just play with for that, I guess. But
how is 60 plus for this guy only? It's plus 2,500. Like what?
I was looking at these last night. I was like, what the hell? Like this is not worth taking.
Okay, this one I kind of like this one.
Which one?
Wemby to record 6 plus triple doubles is plus 1,800. That's not bad.
That is not bad. And he could do it with blocks.
Well, he's gonna keep. Yeah, he's good. The thing is, he's going to give you plenty. Like he's probably going to be close to an automatic double guy. So yeah, he has the blocks potential. He even has like steals potential. Like he's so weird. Like he can.
One of my favorite parlays to play last year, which I'm gonna do again this year, are like sort of like the Wemby 5x5 kind of thing where I take him for about like 10 to 12 rebounds. I take him for a couple, like maybe like 3 or 4 threes, and then I've added in like 4 steals or 3 steals, and I take him for like 5 or 4 blocks, and I take him for like about like 6 assists or something like that. And I usually play around with that throughout the regular season. It hit before I started playing it, of course, and then I started to try to chase it for the rest of the season. But I think he has a chance to do that a bunch next year, and they're usually priced at like around like close to my odds that I like playing things at. So I think that if you want to do anything Wemby related this season, do like the Wemby flirting with a 5x5 parlay where you take him for like 3 or 4 steals, 4 or 5 blocks, about 6 assists, and a couple threes, and it gives you a pretty good odds right there. That's better than any of the Wemby specials, I think. And it's more likely to happen more times than the Wemby special, I think.
Yeah, the Wemby special. This one's fucking crazy because actually there's a chance it could happen. Wemby to record 12 plus blocks and
it's only plus 900.
Yeah, it's only plus 900.
It's hard. Like the guy's good, but like, geez, like give folks a chance to like make some like decent money on this shit. Like
Wemby to record 15 plus assists is plus 1,000. Look, why would I bet that? Did he even have a 10 assist game last year?
I don't think so. He came close, but like, yeah. I mean, with Chris Paul there, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like Chris Paul, he's gonna definitely help Wemby, but he's gonna have less to do offensively because of it. So he'll have the ball in his hands less.
The Chris Paul Wemby 3s assist parlays, if anyone wants to get into that, I'll definitely be sharing some of those during the season. I'll take Chris Paul for like 10 or 12 assists. I'll take Wemby for like 4 or 5 threes, see what the odds are there. But I think those are going to be pretty good as well. I also looked at some of the Bronny specials just because.
Wow, you really
Oh, Shwin, you know me, man. I have to dig deep. The thing with the Bronny specials is like, first of all, before you take these, do you think the Lakers are going to be fighting for play-in position at the end of the year once again? If you think they're going to be worse than that, then I think the Bronny specials are going to be worth taking, because I think at the end of the year, if they have nothing to really play for, why not throw Bronny out there for like 25 plus minutes and see what the hell you can do? You picked him 55, why the fuck not? And he's LeBron's son. But I think the Lakers are going to be fighting for play-in position, so I don't think any of these are realistically worth taking, because I don't think he's going to get any realistic minutes. But the things that did jump out to me are the threes ones. I did watch Bronny play throughout high school in Sierra Canyon.
Were you fucking betting on high school basketball?
I was not. I was just watching for the simple fact of just following the Sierra Canyon basketball team. They had some interesting players go through there, including one Zaire Williams, who is now on the Brooklyn Nets and will try to save his NBA career. Something about the Sierra Canyon players, they just are all pretty pathetic when they get in the league. They just are just so used to playing on these stacked teams. When it's time to like play a real NBA role, they just can't do it. You see it with Amari Bailey. I mean, Scottie Pippen Jr. is finally coming into his own a little bit. Yeah. Shout out to him. But most of these other guys, like Cassius Stanley, where the fuck is he?
Oh man,
like Kenyon Martin Jr. Kenyon Martin Jr. is probably like the best one. Him and Scottie Pippen Jr. And they're like marginal NBA role players.
Oh, we got to worry about Kenyon Martin Jr. because he's part of Daryl Morey's masterclass bench filling offseason. Just how can the Knicks deal with their depth now that they have Caleb Martin?
And Yabusele.
Yeah, they have Yabusele. Fuck. This one, the two that I think are hilarious are Bronny James' first made field goal in 2024-25 regular season game to be assisted by LeBron James. And then that's plus 300. And then Bronny James' first assist in 2024-25 regular season game to be scored by LeBron James. The fact that that's only plus 250, like, because it's so funny because I understand why they're priced like this, because the first time he's on the floor with LeBron,
he's gonna try so hard to like pass it to him so he can score.
Yeah, they're gonna like spam just those two guys, like just LeBron and Bronny.
Give and goes.
Yeah.
And DHOs between each other.
So I might take both those. Like,
yeah, I mean, why not?
Like $10 on each one. Like, I don't know. That's kind of fun. That's kind of a fun one. The Bronny scored 20 plus in any game is plus 900. Not sure about that. Also important. Props recorded in the NBA Cup championship game do not count.
Interesting.
So it has to be in any of the games.
Because those games, a lot of those games turn into like blowouts, and then he'll get.
Well, no. So the normal NBA Cup games count.
Oh,
everything other than the championship game counts.
Some of these games, a lot of those games last year, like those like qualifying games, they turned into like some massive, like nasty blowouts.
Well, because it's a point differential thing. Because I remember when we played the Wizards one time, at the end of during the fourth quarter, they were just like it was so obvious. They were just like
running up the score.
Okay, quick, you can just take as many fucking threes as you want. He's like,
I could definitely see the Lakers throwing Bronny in one of those games and be like, hey, just shoot the rock whenever you get it. And I could see him hitting 4 threes. Like the 4 threes one.
Not bad. That's only plus 600. That's not. I mean, we've seen like random motherfuckers make 4 threes.
Get hot and start spamming the shit out of threes.
That's why every fan base is convinced that like, only bad shooters always go off on us. I'm like, dude, that's just everybody's NBA.
Yeah, it's the variance of the league right now with the 3-point shooting. But yeah, I could definitely see Bronny hitting like 4 threes in a game. I know he was like pathetic in summer league for the most of it, but
tell me how you really feel.
I think he'll get it together by then. Maybe some games in South Bay if they let him play there. I don't think they will let him play because I think that's like against Rich Paul's agreement with the team. But yeah, I mean 4 threes. Any random guy could get hot on a NBA night. So 4 threes, and then if you're feeling really spicy, take the 5 threes. For plus 1,500.
Yep, I don't mind that. I like that one. I want to do some of these category leaders.
Okay.
So points per game. Just looking at it, in order of odds: Luka, Joel Embiid, SGA, Giannis, Trae Young, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, no shot. Jokic, no shot. Durant, Ja Morant. I kind of like. So Morant, Ja is plus 5,000. I'm probably gonna end up taking Ja in like way too many categories, and just in general betting on him way too much. But he's plus 5,000.
There was a season where he averaged like what 28 a game or something, right?
Yeah. The Luka one, he has Kyrie on his team. I actually don't like. I don't get why Embiid is second favorite on this, because them adding Paul George to me
Take away shots from him.
It just changes the equation. Also, think Maxi's going to be, his role is going to increase. So I think Embiid will have to do less. Giannis still kind of interesting to me here. SGA, I can see it. The only thing with SGA, and you know what? I'll give you the argument I would say for SGA is this: they got better, obviously, like we talked about, adding Cruz and Hartenstein.
But defensively, that's where they got better.
Yeah, and they still don't really. Like, SGA is still only the one guy in the team that you're like, okay, if I need somebody to take like 30 shots in a game, he can do it. Jalen Williams is good, and I know that everybody in the NBA on Twitter wants you to know
loves him.
They want you to know how smart they are by letting you know that hey,
he's actually the 25th best player in the league.
Yeah, I don't know if there's this kid nobody's heard about him. His name is Jalen Williams. He's really good, man. But yeah, like I don't see him taking like a huge leap in terms of carrying way more offense this season. Cason Wallace, again, a player I really like, but I don't see him making a significant leap as a shot creator or anything. I don't even think he's going to start. Yeah, I think SGA is just going to be like, he's going to be better in all likelihood just because of his age. Like, he's about to enter his prime. So as good as he was last year, that's probably not the best version of him. Yeah, I don't know. He's third. He's got the third best odds here. He is plus 650. I don't know. That one is pretty interesting. Luka's just, I don't know. I don't know what to do, because I know he's always going to score a lot. He's always going to have the ball in his hands. But with Kyrie, I just feel like there's a little bit more there. Plus, they also got Clay, which like I'm not a huge fan of that move.
He's going to take more shots away from him.
He's going to take shots. Well, I guess you know what? This is probably a good time to do this. Yeah, Clay will take some shots. You know who won't be taking shots?
Oh boy,
coward!
Here we go.
Quentin Grimes won't be taking shots. I'm really excited to root against him next year. I just saw this stupid like TikTok of him that got posted on Twitter yesterday.
My God.
I came across my timeline and I was like, you know what? I'm so happy I don't have to root for this guy. And I don't have to pretend that none of this is cheesy and that he's not mega corny and that I believe in him still, because I don't believe in him now. I don't know. I think he's still like probably gonna be a good player, but he's just annoying. I don't like him, and I'm happy that he's gone. I can't get over the fact that this guy got fucking mega hurt, that they like, oh my God, they signed Dante, and like it feels like I'm shooting like 100-pound fucking weight, or the fuck he's.
That was the funniest quote ever.
It's like, dude, you're fucking starting. You like, just if you want to know how you can play more minutes and get into a rhythm, shoot the fucking ball when the ball gets swung to you instead of pump faking
yourself.
Yeah, fucking instead of pump faking and then driving into the paint and then trying to do the same exact fucking dump off pass to the big that everybody now knows you want to do.
The way they scouted the hell out of that ever since he came.
Eric Spoelstra might have ruined his career, man. I don't know. But yeah, like I'm extremely, extremely happy that now, I'm rooting for Quick. I have no problem rooting for Obi, except when they play the Knicks. Obviously, I don't mind rooting for Obi. I can't obviously root for the team he's on because it's the fucking Pacers. And I'm rooting for RJ. Like, I don't have any beef with those guys. Grimes can fuck off. Like, Grimes can fucking fuck himself. That's what he can do. He played like with fucking Game 7 finals effort against us when he was with the Pistons.
That was the funniest thing ever.
He made like a pull-up jumper in that game, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
You couldn't do this with us?
Yeah, you couldn't do this like 2.5 seasons. Now you're doing it. Yeah, no, he can go fuck himself. And the funniest part about that game was obviously the entire collective Pistons post-game meltdown about the non-call, and Grimes said something like, "Can't
You
believe the
know,
fans."
he said something about like the New York market or something
Yeah,
too, influencing the calls and shit. I was like, bro, are you serious right now?
And he also said like the fan. Oh, I can't believe the fans booed Evan. I'm like, shut up, man. Like, what are you talking about here? That's how they are. Like, yeah, that is how we are. You wait till we come. Wait till you come back. I'll fucking throw some proactive at you. All right. Yeah. So I don't know the Luca one. I don't know. I think if I was going to take this, I would take SGA. But this one points leader is always kind of difficult for me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just
What do you
because
think
like so
about
many
Steph?
guys score. I mean, hey, he has nothing else to play for. He just extended for like one more year. He knows that I think
It's
he
a nice
knows that
little payday, right? 62.6 million.
Hell yeah.
Pretty nice. Maybe I could get that one day.
Maybe. But like
Yeah,
at plus 7,500, that's like
that's not
not
bad.
it's not bad. He's not gonna have anything really to play for. He's gonna have to score to keep them in games if they want to like get to at least the play in. Because Lord knows it's not gonna be pods helping them score.
Anthony Simons has better odds than Julius Randle for points per game, by the way, which I find funny.
He's on a bad team.
He is on a they're fucking awesome.
He's gonna get 1,000,000 shots. Yeah. So
Steph's Steph's at plus 7,500. Like Clay's gone. Yes, you can. I'm sure that Kuminga is going to do more, and pods. Apparently, he's going to take 75 threes a game and everything. But he's going to have to create everything. Steph, he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. I think he could have like 30 point per game season. It's definitely. I don't know. I could see that one. If you want to waste money, you can bet on Kawhi Leonard. I don't know why anyone would bet on Kawhi Leonard. It's crazy.
plus 10,000. Yeah. Those are my type of odds, man. Yeah. But that's horrible.
He's got the same odds as De'Aaron Fox, who will, to my knowledge, will probably continue
play twice as many games as he does.
We'll play a lot more minutes and probably a lot more games. Fox isn't a bad one though.
Bro, will Kawhi even like? Will he even like qualify for how many games played?
Yeah, you gotta do what? You gotta do 6. Well, is it the same? It's not the same as the All NBA qualifications, right?
No, but you still have to play a certain amount of games still to like qualify to be on the points per game, and I don't think Kawhi will even be there. And like what is he playing for this year? Paul George is gone. They got a fat ass James Harden,
and he got paid.
He got
I already got his contract, so he's like, all right, I'm good.
He's at home. He's got his rings. He's got his finals MVPs. Like he's good. He's got Chris Dunn and Derrick Jones Jr. and Batum.
Somebody posted a clip of him just like snatching Carmelo's soul yesterday on the timeline when he was on the Knicks, and I was like, I can't believe
this is the same guy who's like, I was like Frankenstein.
Yeah, he's just like had the fucking weirdest career ever. But yeah, I don't know. Stuff's interesting to me there. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Rebounds leader.
I could see someone like Duran getting it, maybe.
So Sabonis is like heavy favorite in this.
Yes.
Plus 180. Was he the rebounds leader last year? He must have been if he's being priced like this, I'm assuming.
Let me check.
Because I don't know why else he'd be such a heavy favorite. This feels like I don't know. Is this like a Wemby thing? Could Wemby do this?
Wemby's so weird with rebounds. Holy shit. Last year, I like bet on him for rebounds a bunch last year in different games. Bro, he's impossible to like nail. I'm so serious. But yeah, Sabonis was the rebounds leader last year at 13.7 points per game. But yeah, Wemby's so weird because like he'll have a game where he'll have like 14 rebounds and then the next game he'll have like 6. And it's like, dude, are you serious? So like he's inconsistent as a rebounder for me, and I think it's like a weight thing. I think still as well as like he's someone that's also not always in the paint. Like Sabonis is someone that gets a lot of offensive rebounds. Wemby's someone that plays a little bit more on the perimeter. So it's like harder to get your rebound average up if you're not in the paint as much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like Duren just because of the fact that like he had a bunch of like monster rebound games last year. I think he'll get more run on this Pistons team this year. And like he's someone that just plays close to the basket. And yeah, there'll be a million rebounds to go around. I mean, I know they increased their shooting just a little bit by getting like Malik Beasley and they re-signed Fontecchio and whatnot, but like there's still gonna be a lot of bricks in Detroit. And
yeah.
he'll
Asar
be able
Thompson, Javon Holland. Yeah, I'm sure that they'll. Or is it Javon Holland? Or that's a football player. Ron Holland is the basketball player.
Yes. With Ron Holland there, there'll definitely be a million rebounds to go around. And I think Duren, he's someone that plays really close to the basket. He'll get a bunch of his own misses if it's not like a dunk or something. So I think that's pretty good value at 1,500.
Yep. Yeah, I like that one. This is actually this one is bananas. I'm not going to bet this, but this is so funny. Threes made per game leader for the season. These are the odds. I'm going to read everybody else, and I'm going to read Steph, who's the top guy. Lucas plus 700, Simons plus 2,000, Clay plus 3,000, Dame plus 3,000, Trae Young plus 3,000, and so on and so forth. Steph Curry minus 240.
Bruh, that's insane.
Wemby is minus 500 for blocks per game. That's fucking. I mean, and he's going to do it. He's going to win that. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wemby for DPOY is probably. I mean, that's. I feel like he's got. I don't want to say great odds, but I just feel like that's such a lock almost.
Yeah.
Defensive player of the year. I'm just looking it up right now. So Wemby's minus 180 on DraftKings. He's minus 190 on FanDuel for defensive player of the year. I mean, it's crazy. He's minus 180. Then it's Gobert plus 1,100, Bam plus 1,200, Mobley plus 1,600. So they're basically saying.
I feel like that's a good like piece if you want to do like one of those futures parlays. So like if because I see a lot of people, they make these like futures parlays where it's like a bunch of guys with, like extreme odds, and then it'll be like one like heavy favorite in there. So like for example, if you want to do like a Ja Morant MVP, Jalen Johnson MIP, and Victor Wembanyama DPOY parlay, I feel like that's like a pretty like the Wemby piece is like a nice thing to get the odds just a little bit up there, a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's not bad. Not a bad idea. OG Anunoby. Plus 3,000. You heard it here first.
Hey, will he qualify with the games played?
I don't know. He'll probably like fucking get hurt doing chores at home again or something. And we'll like not hear about him for 3 months.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. So there are some interesting ones to do. I think they're interesting parlays. But like to make the playoffs, so to make the Western Conference playoffs, I like these are odds are just so fucking crazy. But the Clippers are plus 176. The Warriors are plus 100. Houston actually has better odds than the Warriors, which is a little bit weird to me. I mean, I get the logic, but still a little odd.
I guess they're assuming like huge bumps from like guys like Jabari and Thompson possibly, and
yeah, they're young, so they can get better. But like, so here's one that I kind of like, but it's mostly just because the East sucks, especially the lower part of the East.
Mm-hmm.
Hawks to make the playoffs is plus 195. The reason I like this has nothing to do with the fact that I like Atlanta or Trae Young or anything about this team. But I think so they're not tanking.
Do you think they're the best of the bottom bunch?
Well, they're not going to tank because they don't have their pick this year.
Yeah.
I don't think losing DeJounte matters because him and Trae suck together anyway, so yeah, it doesn't matter. And Trae is better when he has the ball all the time because that's the only time he has value. So that's better for them. Their offense should be better because of that. The defense will still be a disaster because nobody on that team cares about playing defense aside from like Clint Capella. I don't know what to expect from Riza Shea. Maybe he'll be good. Maybe he won't. I don't really know. He looks okay in summer league at least. Good for him. But I think they'll definitely be in the play-in. And then you start looking at the play-in teams, and it's like, I mean, if Miami's down there, okay, Butler or Bam is 100% better than Trae Young. So, okay, that's whatever. But, like, he's probably the best guy on any of these potential play-in teams at being the guy.
Yeah.
And so, like, in those matchups, I just kind of like him. And he's also been, like, you know how, like, you remember how, like, Clay used to have, like, oh, it's game 6 Clay? Like,
Play and Trae?
Yeah, play and Trae, like, because he's always had these monster play-in games. So I think play and Trae might. He destroyed the Heat a couple years ago in the play-in. So, like, I don't know. I just kind of like him in those settings. So I don't know. That's the one I go to. Oh, thank God, man! Fucking Brandon Ayuk finally signed a contract. Fucking loser.
Really?
Yeah,
About
4
time.
years. 4 years, 120 million.
Finally stopped hearing about that shit.
I know, that was the most annoying
trade
I'm
saga
like,
since
you're not good enough to like have this saga, man. Like, give me a break. All right, you're really good, but shut up.
Man, that's how damn bad the NFL was this year that we had a Brandon Ayuk saga.
Yeah, 76 million guaranteed. Good for him. All right.
He's happy.
Yeah, sure. $76 million.
Better cash some parlays, getting all that money. Tell you that. You're gonna hear from me. You're gonna hear from me. You're gonna hear from me. You don't get those touchdowns, don't get these yards, man. It's gonna be problems. Better fork over some of that money.
Yeah, so I don't know. I do like the Hawks to make the playoffs. That's what I'm like kind of into.
I can see that. That's not a bad bet at all. You parlay it with maybe like someone from the West or something. If you can parlay these, I think you can.
So yeah, you should be able to.
Hawks with, I don't know, maybe someone like Golden State.
Yeah, it's the West is.
The West is interesting, but
and to be fair, Golden State has missed the playoffs in like 2 of the last 4 years, or 3 of the last 5. But one of them was like when everybody in their team died, so I don't count that year.
Yeah.
But in the year after that, they still missed. They lost in the play-in to
the Grizzlies,
the Lakers. Yeah, the Lakers, and then Memphis. So yeah, I mean. That's I don't know. I like that Hawks one, but I like weirdly I bet the Hawks over last year, and then they obviously miserably failed at that. So maybe I just like, even though I hate them, I have like this weird like it's like I'm trying to like reverse jinx them or something. Like I'm like I'll sacrifice money to just to fuck you guys over. So have you looked at like the 1 seed stuff?
I took a look at it just to see what the Knicks odds were. And I think I saw what the West was, and I kind of figured like that wasn't worth playing, at least in the West, because I feel like in the West it's a toss up between like I want to say like 2 to 3 teams.
Oh, I think in the West it's going to be Oklahoma City. Like I feel.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I could see OKC being at plus 135. And as I said earlier, the Knicks, I like them at plus 450 just because Celtics championship hangover, Sixers, they got a lot of things to figure out. I like the Knicks just coming out hot. They don't have really much to really reintegrate. They have McCall, and I think he'll fit in just seamlessly fine with the Villanova guys. They seem to just have this like connection with each other. Like I think the Knicks could come out the season starting like playing the way they did in that January run. I know things will be a little bit different. No Hartenstein, wherever it is, but you're hoping Precious can make up some of that, and the Knicks will make it up the rest of them by proxy with the rest of the team. But yeah, I think the Knicks can just come out hot and be the 1 seed, I think, in the East. So I like them at 450.
Yeah, I like the Knicks. They're plus 470 on FanDuel, by the way. 76ers they have better. Sorry, that was plus 470 to win the conference, not to finish as the 1 seed. You're right, plus 450 to finish as the 1 seed. The Sixers also have plus 450. I think that's fucking insane because Embiid and Paul George are going to miss games. So,
and the rest of their team is like not even that deep.
well, I don't know. They got Yabusele now, so maybe we should pump them. And they got Drummond. Whew. Yeah, no, I'll tell you.
The games where Embiid sits are going to be hilarious, by the way.
I know. They're always terrible when he doesn't play, and it's like people are like, "How could this happen?" I'm like, because
Daryl Morey is an idiot.
Well, he's a center, and like
it's really hard to replace that value at center.
Yeah, especially like you're not going to pay your backup center a bunch because Joel Embiid's going to play like 45 fucking minutes a game in the playoffs. All right, I'll tell you, this is kind of interesting to me.
Okay.
So to win the West right now, so to actually come out of the conference, OKC's plus 300. They're the favorite, but they're plus 135 to finish as the 1 seed. So they're getting way better odds to finish as the 1 seed, or I guess worse odds depending on your viewpoint. But they're much shorter odds to finish as the 1 seed than come out of the West. I find that interesting. That basically seems to me, and I actually think they're still undervalued to come out of the West, and maybe even as a championship team, because they're the one team in the league that's a contender that has so much ability to make a move in season if they want to. They're the one team that can. Denver can't. Dallas can't. Really, I guess Dallas kind of can. They have a couple moves, but OKC obviously has way more flexibility. Minnesota can't. Phoenix, good luck to them. Lakers, we know that they won't do shit, even though ESPN will talk about why fucking some team needs to trade their best player to the Lakers for
a bag of chips.
Yeah, correct. Yep. But this is the one I like as a odds play. Memphis plus 2,000.
Oh, yeah.
So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have the 7th best odds in the West. They have the same odds as the Pelicans. I like them way more than the Pelicans. They have worse odds than Lakers. I think that might. I don't. I have to go back and look. I feel like the Lakers were always a tough matchup for them. I wonder if that changes now with Edie. If Edie hits, then I feel like, honestly, there's a chance they might just be the strongest kind of threat in the West to OKC and Dallas potentially. I'm pretty out on the Nuggets. Like I don't.
Oh yeah, I don't like them losing KCP, and they're just like, okay, Julian Strother, you're gonna be like
Christian Braun.
You're gonna be back up to Christian Braun, who funny enough didn't want to give up his number to Westbrook. I find that story just fucking hilarious.
Well, apparently Westbrook actually came out and said like he was like that was bullshit. He's like that never happened.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's so funny that guys have to like come out and deny stupid bullshit like this.
Christian Braun stories.
I know, but like I'm like kind of out on Denver. I get why they have the odds they do because it's just like, well, they have Jokic. It's like, yeah, they do. It's fair, but I don't know. Jamal Murray also Jamal Murray looked terrible during the Olympics. I understand it's very different than the NBA, but still kind of concerning.
It kind of is. It's a little bit concerning just for the fact that like usually guys that like have a really good Olympic run, they usually come into the season with that momentum and they come out pretty strong. So if Jamal Murray was pathetic in the Olympics, good luck having that start to the season.
Yeah, and I think I'm just gonna be a Memphis guy this year. Apparently,
Same.
I kind of like their odds with everything. Like,
they're severely underrated on the books right now.
Yeah, to win the division. So Dallas is plus 105, Memphis is plus 270. I think people are seriously forgetting how good Memphis was, at least as far as regular season
when they were fully healthy. Yeah,
yeah. Like plus 270 to me is pretty out of whack. Like, I mean, I'll put it this way: you can virtually lock in profit if you bet Dallas and Memphis to win that division. Dallas is plus 105, Memphis is plus 270. You can virtually lock that in if you bet like the same amount on each of them. New Orleans is plus 360. I can't do this.
They have no center.
Yeah, they don't have
no center. That's crazy to me.
The one center they have is Yves Missy, who's a rookie.
Yeah, Yves Missy.
Yeah, all right. Good luck to you, bud. So yeah, I just everything I just look at with Memphis is fucking wild to me. Yeah, like
And I
again,
like their team too. Like
yeah,
Gigi
plus
Jackson
2,000.
was really good last year. He's
Yeah,
going to be coming
plus
off the bench for them or starting maybe.
they're so yeah plus 2,000 to come out of the conference. They're plus 1,000 to finish as the 1 seed. I don't like that. I think it's like a okay value actually, but I won't. I'm not going to take that because I just think Oklahoma City is going to be such a monster regular season team. So I just would not bank on that one. But like, yeah, I do like Memphis. I like their conference odds a little bit plus 2,000. Also, they have all their draft picks. They have all their draft capital. So
And they have some intriguing young talent that they could move around too if they want to make an extra move or something.
yeah, like they at least have the ammo to make a significant move, which I like. I think that's a big thing. To kind of way. I mean, we saw last year how much the trade deadline helped Dallas, for example.
Yeah.
The Pacific is kind of brutal. So Phoenix is strong, plus 220 here to win the division. After that, the Kings are.
I like Sacramento.
This is my problem with Sacramento. I don't understand
The DeMar thing.
Yeah, I get why they wanted.
They're just They're just like tripling down on offense.
Yeah, I'm like, and I'm unsure how this all works at the end of games because, yes, I know Fox and DeRozan have been like among the best fourth quarter scorers over the last few years. I think it's different when they're on the floor together, though. I mean, it just like I don't know how they were going to play off of each other. The defense is still going to be atrocious. Maybe it might have even gotten worse somehow, which is.
Yeah, Harrison Barnes was at least like respectable, I think, in instances.
And DeRozan's just always been awful as a defender. So, like, okay, Monk is terrible on defense.
Sabonis, God bless his soul, trying to defend anybody.
Yeah, I will say, like, Sabonis and Fox actually try on defense, but it's
not that good.
Yeah, they're not very good at defense.
I think what tricks people a lot about Fox is like the steal numbers. He gets into passing lanes a lot, and people are like, "Wow, Fox is like a really good defender." It's like,
he'll also just like randomly dial it up for like 2 or 3 possessions where he's like fucking pressing the guy at half court.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he's really into it. And then he's just like, all right, I'm good. Now that I'm
done for today. I'm done defending today.
I did my defense for today. I don't know the Kings, but they're healthy. They're going to be healthy. That's the thing. I don't know the Suns will be healthy. Durant had his healthiest season since I think like Golden State last year. And even then, I mean, they needed to win.
Beal and Booker died a bunch, and
they had to win on the last day of the year just to guarantee get like a top 6 seed. And we know that gap from like.
And Sacramento was like pretty good until like Monk got hurt, and then they kind of just like they had Monk got hurt, Herter got hurt before that. Like they just lost a lot of their guard depth.
Yeah,
and then killed them.
And then they also have like again like that 5th seed all the way down to like the 10th seed in the West last year was so tight. I mean, it was like a couple games here or there. Sacramento, they're healthy. This is the thing. Like the Lakers were legit healthy last year, and they still were pretty mediocre. Like they had to get in through the play-in,
and they didn't improve.
I don't know, man. They got JJ. Coach Redick. How can you doubt his credentials? He's hosted a podcast.
Man, God bless JJ Redick's soul trying to get something out of Cam Reddish on a random Thursday night in November.
I think like me, you, Tyrese, like we all have the credentials to be an NBA head coach, basically.
We're only missing the NBA minutes that JJ played.
Yeah, that's the only thing we're missing, right? All right. Like I just think that one is. I do kind of like the Kings there though because they're going to be healthy. Like again, the Lakers were healthy last year; they still weren't very good, and I don't know that you can bank on LeBron and AD being as healthy as they were last season.
They're coming off an Olympic run too. Like there's some mileage there.
Yeah, there is. Golden State. So the thing with Golden State that's actually kind of intriguing, they're like kind of deep actually. Like they actually have decent depth, even if it's not.
The names don't pop off the screen.
Well, they also like they don't have great size, so I get why people are worried about that.
Very small team.
But like, if you just think about it, obviously Steph and Draymond are there, but then they have Pajemski, Moody, Kuminga, Buddy Hield,
Anderson.
Anderson, DeAnthony Melton, Trace Jackson Davis, and Looney's corpse is still hanging out over there. They have
Kevon Gooney.
they have Gary Payton II still. Like they actually have like a pretty decent amount of depth. Did they sign somebody else also?
Not that I can think of.
They didn't bring back Saric, right?
No, I think someone else signed Saric.
I remember him getting a contract that was like bigger than I thought. Let's see.
Dario's with the Nuggets.
Right, yeah. That's how they're gonna figure out how to finally win the non-Jokic minutes. Yeah.
They're gonna have Saric try to play Jokic.
So yeah, I kind of like that. I don't know. I kind of like that. The thing is, it's Steph, right? If Steph is healthy, then it's fine. But Steph is obviously he's older, so he misses games, and I don't know. How many games did he play last year? Let's see. Steph played 74 games last year, actually. Jeez.
One of his healthier seasons.
Yeah, I mean, so the 3 years before that, 63, 64, 56. And then 74 last year.
Yeah.
I kind of... If you told me he played 74 games last year, or this upcoming season, I kind of like their odds. I mean, aren't there like all these nerd numbers going around that they actually have like improved the most in the West or something?
Probably. I don't know.
Because Clay sucked last year, so they got rid of him. And then if Melton is healthy, he's definitely better than Clay.
You're also assuming Wiggins doesn't like mysteriously disappear for like periods of a time throughout the year.
I have no idea what. Hopefully, whatever is going on with him is good, but that's been very odd.
And when he came back, he was just like a shell of himself.
Yeah, he was terrible last year. He's been terrible really since they won the finals. I mean, can you just get okay from Wiggins? If he can, that is an improvement. I don't know. I think I would take like them and the Kings and just kind of roll with it. I don't know. This division definitely boggles my mind a little bit. It's tough.
Yeah.
What do we think about if you said you kind of like the Knicks to win the 1 seed, right?
Yep.
So the Knicks to win the division are plus 350, which I don't know. The Celtics are minus 170. I get why they're being priced this way because they did have like one of the most dominant regular seasons in recent history last year, and they're starting. They're kind of like 7 to 8 man rotation is awesome. Porzingis is out probably for like a couple months. That seems significant. I know Al Horford has found the fountain of HGH that we're all looking for in our lives. Please give it to Mitchell Robinson. Thank you. But like, I didn't think he looked that good in the regular season last year. He was able to dial it up for them when they needed it in the playoffs. But like, I didn't think he looked very good in the regular season. I mean, as your backup center, he was fine, obviously. But I don't know if I love that as kind of like what they're doing. I know they got Tillman. Tillman's not going to start, and Tillman's not good. And then they brought back Unicornet, who is certainly an NBA player that makes money.
Dog, him being the first signing of free agency this year
awesome.
when we were on the stream.
That was the worst stream ever. It was like, all right, so nobody's doing anything. Awesome. Thank you, Adam Silver.
Thank you, Grant Williams and CJ McCollum for squeezing out the middle class of the NBA.
Yeah. So thank you for rooting the best part of the NBA offseason. Thank you. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so I don't know. The Knicks the Knicks have 9 guys who are like their 9-man rotation is really good. The depth this year, they actually took the depth way more seriously than they did last year, where they were just like, we're just going to sign good guys that practice hard. And I was like, what if we signed like
fringe NBA players that maybe can develop into actual NBA players?
Yeah, what if we just sign guys who like Tibbs isn't going to look at and laugh in his own head? What if we do that? But yeah, like they got Campaign, who is, I mean, he's an NBA level rotation player.
He played on a team last year that was in the playoffs.
Yeah, and he was annoyingly good against us when he played, which was fucking annoying. So they got him. Obviously, they still have that taxpayer mid-level exception to add somebody if they want. So I'm interested. I hope they do. We still have some assets to make trades, right? We still have a couple protected picks, 3 protected firsts from other teams, and we have some swaps. We do have Deuce McBride, who I'm sure other teams would value. So we still have the opportunity to add talent. And I do think at some point they're going to add a center. I don't know when, I don't know who, but it feels like inevitable they're going to do that. And we know Tibbs is psychotic. Tibbs is going to play like he is going to think that the fucking second week of October is like
the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, like, no, we need Julius. Get out there. We need you to play the entire second half. Coach, I can't feel my shoulder. Fucking, that's fine. Don't worry. We'll take a look at that after.
We'll glue it back on after.
But yeah, I think the Knicks just like that's not bad. And look, the Celtics
solid value.
They won the championship. Obviously, 3 of their guys went to the Olympics. 2 of them actually played. Not Jason Tatum. Again, Porzingis is not going to be healthy to start the year. Jaylen Brown certainly has had himself an offseason.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, getting really upset about Derek White being on the team. And then I'm like, I don't want to hear about your problems, dude. I see who you're dating. Get the fuck out of my face. But yeah, so that would be my argument. My argument is like, I think that they won, again, you win the championship. It's okay to like come back and be a little bit, maybe you're not as locked in to start the season, because they were really fucking locked in last year all the way through. It's not unreasonable to not kind of have that same level of focus, at least not from the jump. Like, they're still the favorite to come out of the conference. I totally get that. But I don't know. I think the Knicks are going to be there because they're just going to win, and they have a coach who only gives a fuck about winning. Like, the Knicks kind of should, in theory, have the level of focus the Celtics had last year. That's what I think. Like, they should be locked the fuck in because they know that, okay, we made our big move. The expectations are to win a championship. Like, there's really nothing to... And I think internally, I don't think they would have been disappointed about kind of like how the season turned out in terms of, you can understand why you lost in the second round given all the injuries. But it does kind of drive home like, okay, so like you don't get a chance at being on a title contending team every year. And this team has an opportunity to be that. I feel like there's that level of understanding and kind of focus from the jump with this team, would be my guess.
Yeah. Speaking of Knicks, there are some parlays that I usually do during the year. High odds parlays, of course. There are 2 types of parlays that I'm going to be focusing on this year. Knicks defense parlays. I think defensively, the potential there with OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, steals and blocks, those guys. You can even throw Dante and Josh Hart in there. Those guys get into the passing lanes a bunch. I think those guys are going to have a bunch of opportunities for steals this year. So Knicks steals parlays, I'll definitely be putting those on the timeline. So if you're not following me, make sure you're following me by the time NBA season is here, because I'll definitely have those up. And another thing that I like to do is taking a bunch of guys on like one team to just go crazy from 3. With the way the league is today, there's a lot of variance, and sometimes teams will just go off on nights. I think the addition of Mikal Bridges, I think the use of Julius Randle as like some sort of like playmaking hub in the absence of Hartenstein will lead to a lot of guys just getting a lot more open threes. I think Brunson's threes will be something to look at next year as well. I think he'll get a bunch of spot up opportunities. So those three guys, I think Brunson, OG, and McCall, just alone from the starters for threes, I think will be parlay. Take your pick for any of those guys, taking them for like 3 or 4 threes a game. I think there's money to be made there. Parlay it with Julius Randle assists on a given night. You got yourself some cash right there.
Well, you heard it here first.
If you want to get into my mind during games. During the NBA season, that's how my mind operates. I'm like a freaking calculator, just trying to calculate like which players I think are gonna go off that night, and yeah.
Is that what you're thinking about when you're like teaching your third graders?
Pre-K students, and I don't teach them anything about gambling because they cannot gamble
yet. I mean, I don't know, man. I watched The Wire. Maybe you could be like Prez Belusky. Teach your kids use gambling to teach them math. Do you care about the NBA Cup?
Not really. I think the Knicks have a pretty easy group. It's not as easy as the Celtics group, of course. They got to give the Celtics the easiest group.
Yeah. The Knicks group is...
I know the Sixers, Magic, Hornets, and the Nets are in it, I believe.
It is... 1 second. Fucking hell. Why are the Knicks? Why is the Knicks group not being shown? This is annoying me. Well, I don't know. You'll have to figure that one out on your own, Sam. Sorry, can't help you. The Knicks are definitely, but you do have the 76ers, for sure, in our group. So that's great.
Yeah, we have the Sixers, the Magic, the Hornets, and the Nets.
Hornets, Nets, those should be literally wins, all of them. Yeah, the NBA Cup is just weird because I still don't know if teams genuinely care about this a lot. Like, it felt like they did
and I think it's because it was the inaugural year for it. But like in year 2, how many teams are really gonna care for it that much? Maybe younger teams might care for it because they'll have like something to like prove somewhat in a way. I think more established teams that are looking towards the longer run of the season, they're not really going to care for it that much. That's why you saw a team like the Pacers and the Pelicans make it as far as they did. They're like younger teams that didn't really think they were going to get that far, I think, in the playoffs. So, yeah.
And the one thing I will say, though, is it felt like the Lakers did genuinely give a shit about this last year. So I think it could be a thing for like good teams that also kind of understand they realistically cannot win the championship next year. I feel like it could be motivating for them. Like I could see like the Kings really wanting to win this, right? Or the Warriors or something like that. I mean, we know that after LeBron won the NBA Cup title game MVP award, that officially made him the GOAT. Nobody's ever done it before. Wow. I think it's hard to know without knowing how each team is approaching this. I actually feel like this is something where you can probably make a better guess on this once you kind of see how teams approach the first couple games of the tournament. Because you also have a pretty good idea of like, do we even have a chance of getting into like the tournament part of it, like the actual knockout round part of it versus the group stage where after like the first couple of games, you kind of know like, all right, do we even have a chance of this? If not, who cares? But yeah, that was my thing. Do you have anything else you want to do before we get out of here? Any other bets you like for the season?
No, I think that was it.
All right. Well, that was it was a little fun little pod. All right, Sam. Thank you for jumping on. Let them know where they can find you and plug anything that you would like to plug.
Follow me on Twitter at FBL_Sam, as it says there on the screen. Also follow me on Instagram, I guess, as well. I'm also on there. Not as frequently as I am on Twitter, but yeah. Anything to plug? I will plug the Strickland and support teachers.
There you
School
go.
year is coming up.
I will be supporting teachers. I'm sure my fearless leader, Eric Adams, will also be supporting teachers.
Oh man, don't even get me started on that guy. This guy's over here smelling packs of weed.
That was so funny. I was like,
He was
why did you
like,
do that?
smells good, and he just
Yeah,
put it
like,
back down.
why did you do that? Oh man, that was so funny. All right, I have nothing to plug, so I'm just gonna plug all the wonderful work at Strickland. Check out all the different podcasts that are coming out. Strickland NFL dropped the pod this week, so that was very good. Give that a follow. Subscribe to the Patreon. Thank you to our sponsor, Bet Online. And aside from that, I got nothing. So everybody enjoy. I can't even say the rest of your week because this is dropping on Friday. But enjoy
Your weekend, Labor Day weekend.
Enjoy Labor Day weekend, the last weekend of the summer, and then enjoy the fact that college football is back. We'll get Sam betting on that soon enough. Don't worry. All right, that is our show for today, and everybody enjoy the weekend. Peace.